Boom, 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 everybody. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're having an amazing Saturday and an amazing weekend so far. My name is Don Terrell, and I want to welcome you to another great episode of The Color of Motion, where I like to say, hey, stories come in all shades, and I highlight people of color and diverse backgrounds in the industry of motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons, and comics. This space that after 5 years and almost 200 episodes, you ought to know by now that I love. Like I said, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know the drill. Hop into the comments. Say, hey, where you're tuning in from. Like I said, I am super excited about today's episode. We got a returning Color of Motion family member coming back, and it's going to be a fun episode for sure. First off, like I said, we're here each and every Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, live to the YouTube channel, LinkedIn. I think I got a subscriber. Nicholas Lames just subscribed. Thank you. Nicole, thank you for just subscribing. Like I said, I'm shocked. And it kind of threw me off. But we are here at every Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like I said, live to the YouTube channel, LinkedIn, the website, and the Facebook group for the show. Definitely, I always encourage everybody to hop on over to the YouTube channel, though. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, get a part of the community. That way, you're notified of when great content goes up on the channel, when the show goes live, and all that good stuff as well. Definitely, again, want you to be a part of the family. I want to also give a big shout out, to the sponsor, our sponsor for today's show, DG Graphics. They do all our graphics, animations, overlays, basically help me look good. And you're definitely going to see the progression. So I'm going to show a past little clip from one of our past episodes here. But if you're a business or a brand that's looking to level up your brand design and really create engaging content, then definitely reach out to DG Graphics. So thank you for always sponsoring the show. Oh, man. What else? Like I said, this is an interactive show for sure. And like I said, I want you to jump in, comment, engage, because, again, like I said, this is an engaging show and an interactive show. And I always like to give, like I said, my viewers, a plug wherever possible. Again, like I said, I've been so looking forward to this episode for a while and been trying to get this brother back on for sure. And definitely looking forward to, diving into his project. So much stuff, really, for sure. Let me pull this up. Where are we at here? Okay. All right, there we go. Double Smooth. His project, Double Smooth, like I said, we're going to dive into that and just what's been going on with that project. We're going to definitely dive into kind of the, background of it because I always thought and always felt like it would be definitely a great animation. When I first met my guest, we got to know each other and I learned about his background. I definitely knew there was a great story and great. It was inspirational for me. It always just kind of reinforced for me, where you start isn't necessarily definitely where you end up for sure. So I'm so excited. Like I said, it's so honored to have my next guest back on. He's a family member. He was my very, very second guest. So second guest. Like I said, after 200 episodes, he was my second guest. He believed in the show, came on, and we just really hit it off and had such fun. So to watch him see what he's doing, the growth that he's done, is just, it's been inspiring for me, as all my guests are inspiring. Mr. Deuel, appreciate you, brother, tuning in. Happy Saturday to you as well. Thank you for tuning in. with that, like I said, I could sit and hype up my guest, which I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind forever. But I think we can kind of get the show on the road. What do you say, eh? Oh man, and we are back. We are back. All right, I'm gonna try and get through this with some oxygen here because my guest, like I said, his background is so extensive. But I'm gonna try my best to get through this because he has achieved a lot. But my next guest was born and raised in Marysville, California, now residing in the Bay. His artistic journey began at 2 years old when his brother placed a pencil in his hand. And even in grade school, he found comfort and joy in crafting his own stories, favoring tales where characters must sacrifice something precious for growth and realization. Later in life, unexpectedly, he discovered the world of computer graphics and animation while serving time at Deuel, I hope I pronounced that right, Vocational Institution in Tracy, California. Choosing to use his time, not do his time. Excuse me. Choosing to use his time, not do his time, Dre dedicated himself to studying mechanical engineering, mechanical drafting, and 3D animation, emerging from incarceration with a new drive to pursue his passion. He quickly rose to the ranks of animation, starting as a clerk in the facilities of the department at PDI DreamWorks. And after years of hard work and immersing himself in every aspect of the animation pipeline, he secured his dream position as a set technical director, where his talent and expertise kicked off a journey that would take him to Blue Sky Studios, Pixar, and Leica Studios, just to name a few. With over 15 years experience as a technical director in feature animation, he's left an indelible mark on beloved franchises such as How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek, Madagascar, Peanuts, one of my personal favorites, Spies in Disguise, and more recently, Oscar-nominated Elemental and Nimona. And if you haven't seen Nimona, you should check it out. It's definitely a really beautiful animation. Now his debut short, Double Smooth, explores themes in resilience and humanity in the face of oppression. Please, everybody help me welcome back our very special guest and family member, Mr. Andre Dre Rodriguez. Whoa.
What's up, y'all? Good to be here. Good to be here.
Man, I've been looking to get you back on for a while. Like I said, it really chop it up a little deeper than our conversation before. But man, I can't thank you enough for coming back on the show and really sharing what you've been working on. You've been working on some amazing things, especially with your animated short. And really can't thank you enough for coming in and sharing your wisdom, brother.
Man, thank you for having me. You acting like it's hard to get me back on here. You know I've been wanting to come back on here. Stop it.
I got you. See, you just killed it, man. I'm trying to.
I love talking with my folks, man. So you know what I'm saying. Anytime I can do that, it's good.
Man. Yeah. So like I said, for us, for me, it's just, what's been going on. It's been, like I said, you were my second guest. 5 years
how long ago
was
that?
That was 5 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, 5 years ago. You were my
Time
second
ticking.
guest.
Time been ticking. Let me see. So let's see. We're gonna go back to 2020 then. So that was like, COVID and all that.
Yeah, just through the COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2021, I came back to California. I came over to Pixar.
Yeah.
And then I was there for a while. Then I jumped over to Leica. And then after Leica, jumped over to DreamWorks, back at DreamWorks with a lot of my friends that I started my career with, my mentors and stuff like that. So, but in that time, I've also been working on Double Smooth, working on the short that it kind of came out of nowhere, really. the way it started, I started writing it. My boy Brian Vincent Rhodes, he told me he read it and said, you need to stop everything else you're doing and focus on this, because he told me the community needs it. Well, that's what he said. So,
I mean, I told you that when I first met you. I said, man, you should be doing public speaking, or just. I knew there was something inspiring within your story.
Yeah, I was kind of, before shout out to Jade and Diverse Tunes, because Jade Seabury was the first person that put me on stage in any kind of speaking engagement or whatever. And I was really insular. I just like making stuff. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't trying to talk to people. If that if you see me around, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? The lights and all that, I really wasn't into that. I just like making stuff. You know what I'm saying? Big ass geek. You know what I'm saying? But once I saw that, when Brian Vincent Rhodes told me, we were talking one time. It was on Juneteenth, actually. It was on Juneteenth. I forgot what year, but he said, "Dre, this ain't about you." And I was like, "Oh, well, I gotta be like that. Why you gotta, He saw me. You know what I'm saying? He saw me, and he was like, "Man, this ain't about you." He said, "Some youngsters really need to hear from you. Youngsters I can't reach, and you can." So that's how it like all started. And then from there, well, really the start was in 2015 at the Million Man March. We can get into that if you want to. Yeah. But yeah, talking to Brian, and he was on that panel, the one that he was suggesting that I jump on with him. And so once I jumped on, and somebody yelled out of the crowd when they found out about my backstory. Somebody yelled out of the crowd, "You learned this stuff in prison?" and I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "I suggest you don't do that." Right? Don't do that. But yeah, I was able. I found my chance. I found my opportunity behind bars. So once I saw the effect I could have on the youngsters, because to me it's all about the youngsters, period. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? And so I said, okay, I need to think about them. So if I can get on stage and talk my talk, and say what I gotta say, hit them with my soliloquies.
Then we got a lot of soliloquies to dive into with you on it, because like I said, there's, again, that was, a big chunk of the reason why I asked you to come on in the first place, because like you said, as we got to talking and I learned about your background, I was like, geez, you should be doing a lot more, podcast shows and telling the story, again, not because it's about you, because it could inspire somebody that really needs to hear it.
100%. And I think that the universe will decide where I need to be and who I need to talk to. Yeah. I don't focus on that. I think the universe has been doing just fine with me staying the hell out of the way. So whatever comes my way, and I'll respond accordingly. And the universe will continue to conspire to bring me together with the people that I need to talk to. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Yeah,
for sure. And again, like I said, there's just so much stuff to really unpack with you, Andre. And like I said, I'm so looking forward to this. And I want to go a little bit back before, kind of the prison stint, just kind of moving into that. Because I didn't get a chance, or really didn't dive into it the first episode. But my thing was, initially, because I think you did say, and I'm going to show a little clip of our second of the episode that we did. You initially went in, 25 to life, was it? What was your sentence?
I was facing 25 to life.
You were facing 25 to life. But you went in for, well, basically, like I said, I want you to try to tell, kind of leading up to it, what kind of brought you to that point, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, young age, growing up in an area where, it wasn't a lot of, opportunity and whatnot, but, you never know the area you're really growing up in until you're outside of it and you're looking back on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just rocking with my folks, my peoples, you know what I'm saying, having a good time or whatever. But certain instances can get a little hairy, and I won't go into detail because code, you don't talk in details like that. You don't put that on record. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Shout out to the cats that keep their mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? But basically, I was charged with attempted murder, and so I was facing 25 to life with two of my peoples, and we all had lawyers and all that, counsel, whatever, and we was able to, we just played no contest. We wasn't gonna take on where I stay in my town, Marysville, California, racist as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't about to go jury of my peers, whatever. my peers wasn't gonna be sitting on that jury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we went ahead and pled no contest. We didn't contest it, and we all got 5 years stipulated halftime. Meaning stipulated means it's possible you can get out in half the time, right? Do half the time, and you can parole. So I was hoping, I talked to my lawyer, and I said, hey, what if I just cop to whatever they're saying and they can leave my two homeboys alone? And it was like, nah, y'all got to go. The DA wants all y'all. And I was like, okay. So I guess, me and my homeboys, we talked. We're going to keep that conversation off air too.
Yeah.
And we had a discussion, and, what I'm saying, we pled no contest, and, and then I think it was March 5th, 1996 is when I hit San Quentin State Prison. It was my first day inside. And then after, I was there for a month. And after that, I got shipped over to Tracy, which is crazy because Tracy prison was the only prison that had this drafting class.
Yeah.
Right. There's other prisons that have different vocations, like metal shop, wood shop, automotive. They had that stuff at Tracy too, but that program was the only one that existed in CDC, period.
Wow.
Which is crazy that I got sent to that one prison. And then out of all the things they could have assigned to me, they put me in there.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, the luck of the draw, really, because a lot of people try to say, manifest destiny and all that kind of stuff. But there are times where the universe is going to take matters into its own hands, and I'm a hard-headed cat. I'm real hard-headed, and so it takes me a while to see certain things. It takes me a while to line up things. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting better at it though. The universe been whooping my ass, so I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, you get beat enough.
Yeah, I had to whoop my ass a few times.
Even
when I got out, I had to beat my ass. I'm pretty sure I got some more ass whoopings coming too. Universe ain't done. It's gonna keep two pieces.
It never is. So, all the way out, baby. All the way out.
But yeah, it's like out of all the places I could have ended up, I ended up in this class with my teacher, Mr. Cash, and he noticed my skills, and so the time I was in there, I was lucky enough, which is why I made the show, the Project Double Smooth. I was lucky enough that I had these OGs around me that really paid attention to what was going on with me. You know what I'm saying? So they made sure I stayed focused on what I needed to do, and they didn't have to do that. And it was OGs from different hoods, from SAC, from the Bay, LA, you know what I'm saying? I met cats from Oakland, San Francisco, Vallejo, and they all had this. I don't know why they took an interest in me staying on my path, but a lot of them did. You know what I'm saying? They were like, Dre, you got something to offer. Stay your ass in line.
Well, first off, what was your thought process when, okay, the verdict is down, you're going in. I mean, what's your thought process about, okay, what's my future going to look like?
I wouldn't, and I didn't really think that far ahead until one instance that happened in the pen. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started thinking ahead. But before that, just growing up, you don't think, it's hard to see far ahead in murky water, right? When it's murky water, you can only see what's in front of your face. So I wasn't thinking about that when the verdict came down. Actually, when I was in court, or when we were about to go and, plead no contest and all that kind of stuff, I told all my family to stay out the courtroom. Because I didn't want them to see that. I didn't want them to come in there, have this reaction, and give that satisfaction to the judge and the DA. Yeah. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So I told them all stay home. I'm like, don't come here. Let me deal with this on my own. And then when the verdict came down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to the pen. It'll be day one. Day one is day one. Day two is day two. So you don't really. I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said there was a moment. Do you want to share that moment when you did start thinking?
Yeah, it's
Um,
when my mother brought my son to see me to visit me for the first time, and he didn't recognize me.
oh wow.
Yeah, he was scared of me. You know what I'm saying? And because I look very different, right? So
Yeah.
I had lost a lot of weight because you don't really get much to eat. You can't really program when you're in a receiving, right?
Yeah.
So when you come into receiving, you're in the orange jumpsuit and all that. So I look very different. So when she came to visit me, uh, I went to pick up my son. I went to grab him, and he ran away
Rear
from me and
back. Yeah.
grabbed my mom's leg, and that's when I knew I was a piece of shit.
Oh,
Right there, I'm like, I gotta. I went back to my bunk, and I was gone. Like mentally, I was gone. Went back
yeah.
to my bunk, and it,
How
it wasn't
far
just my mom
into
and my
your
son.
How far into your sentence were you at that point?
About I think I was like 6 months. I think
Okay.
something like that. So my sister came and saw me too. It was my mom, my sister, and my son. And when the visit was over, my sister, she lost it. She was
Oh,
like, "Wait, I thought we were coming to pick him up."
oh
And I said,
wow.
"No, I can't leave." And she lost it. She got the
Oh
hollering, "Why can't he come home? Like, what's going on?" And my mom was trying to calm her down and shit.
wow. Take a minute, man. It's okay. Yeah,
I'm
I can
cool.
only
I'm
understand.
good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Feel it.
So when I went back to my bunk, I was gone. And then this OG, one of the OGs from SAC came by my bunk and was like, "Dre, come holler at me real quick." And I tried to be hard, and I'm good, man. He was like, "Get off your bunk." I said, "Okay." he was a big brother. And I walked over to his bunk. I sat on his bunk, you know what I'm saying? And then where I was at, I was in what was called the Z dorm in Tracy. It was like 300 convicts in a
Yeah.
in a big auditorium. So went over to his bunk, sat down, and I'll leave the expletives out. But basically, he said, while you in here, you dead. He said the world is spinning without you. Ain't nobody thinking about you. He said, but guess what? You could take this time to work on yourself and become 10 times the man you were before you came in,
Oh,
and then get out and stun on these cats. And right there, that was
yeah.
it. I said, I got you. I got you. Went back to
Oh,
my bunk, got right back to opening my book, studying, drawing, you know what I'm saying? I locked in. I stopped calling home so much. I just said, okay, he's right.
yeah.
Because when you in the pen, you don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody I could have got into it with somebody and they could have took it there. And
Yeah.
I could have been, buried somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
while you in here, you dead. Focus on here. Focus on now what you can do right here. You dead to the outside world. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody thinking about you. And I took that to heart. And I
Yeah.
and that's when I started using my time, not doing my time.
Yeah. Well, did
Yeah.
you initially realize that, um, hey, if once you were doing the art and got into the program and doing the mechanical drafting, that this was an opportunity to get you
I was
out
already in there.
early?
I was already in there
So
when
were you
before this
aware
happened.
that that was, if you, like I said, really went all into that, then that would be your
No,
way
I
of,
didn't I didn't believe that shit.
mm,
I didn't believe that shit. I was like, I'm a black man, and that's first off, right? I'm a black man. I got a mouth. I be kind of,
yeah.
who
Y'all haven't
who and
picked
I
that
and I,
up from Dre.
yeah, and now I'm an ex-con. You know what I'm saying? Who's really
Yeah.
gonna hire me? You know what I mean? But again, I wasn't thinking that way. So when that situation happened, that's what changed me. And I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far I get or accolades. That doesn't matter. Only
Yeah.
thing that matters is that I'm somebody my family can be proud of. Whatever that is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The job has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when I changed my thinking. Now I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna get out and I'm about to get busy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for a whole different reason that has nothing to do with having my name in the credits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Such a powerful thing. And we are going to take, which I do want to talk about. And while we have it here, let's look at some of the the images from Dre. Like I said, we're going to look at a lot of stuff. But this, let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, some of the time in there.
That's me and my boy Rock. We actually have the same birthday.
Was he able to get out, or is he still in, or okay?
No, he out right now. He's no joke. He can pretty much he can frame a whole house. Yeah, okay. He's dope. He was in the vocation department in the woodworking area, and I was in draft, and so I would go down there and chill with him and watch. Talented, no joke.
Yeah. Which is usually the case. There's a lot of people that, like I said, they have talent and skill. Like I said, when I saw these, I was like, "Are these a Dre?"
Yeah, that's me. That's me with with the braids and all that, pretty much.
Oh man,
yeah, about like a one. I think I was like 180 right there, 190, something like that. Solid, you know what I'm saying?
Solid for sure.
Solid. That's me. That's me and Mr. Cass right there.
Was it? I mean, did it take a little for him to kind of convince you that, hey, this is, like I said, this is to be really something.
He didn't know what was going on up here in the mine. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't a convict, you a cop. That's how it works in the pen. If you ain't a convict, you CDC. So it's not. I'm not talking to this man about that kind of stuff while I'm inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking to him about this stuff. He didn't know anything about that, but he was always on me because he saw my talent.
Yeah.
And he know that the one thing I love to do is draw. I love art. You know what I'm saying? And so he was on me because he knew I was getting out soon.
Yeah.
So because most of the people that were in the drafting class were lifers.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they were mostly lifers. And that's why it's a trip that I was in there. It's like, it looks like they gave this stuff to lifers. So why am I in there with only, a little bit of time to do? Mind you, I say a little bit, that's relative. I know it's a lot because folks here were how long I was in there and they was like, goddamn. But
trust me, I went to just like county jail, and that's just nothing. That was enough for me. One night in a cell is enough.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild thing, you know what I'm saying?
But it's wild.
Yeah, but yeah, he was on me. You know what I'm saying? He was on me. He would bring in. I remember when Independence Day came out with Will Smith, he brought that into the class for us to watch it. He brought in the first Toy Story when it came out. Wow. So I heard about Pixar. Yeah. I learned about Pixar when I was in there. So he brought in, and then what was crazy was he brought in a magazine that talked about how they made the spaceships for Independence Day. The big one that was over New York. Over there, yeah. They talked about it, and he said all these programs is what they use doing this stuff. And so I'm having fun in the class, but in my mind I'm like, man, I'm not about to get out here and do this stuff. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But after I had that talk, I said, you know what? Success or death, I'll die trying. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, Well,
like I said, I'm definitely wanting to dive deeper into just, the whole process of you putting this together. Because like I said, this, at what point did you've had this story for a while now? What was it that just finally said, okay, I got to sit down and do this and put energy into this? I mean, I know you gave your, what was it that got you to sit down in the script before you even gave it to your friend?
So the first thing that happened was I went to the Million Man March in 2015. That was my first time in Washington, D.C. And just seeing over a million, brothers and sisters all on the same accord, but they all, you had people out there in suits, right? You had the original Israelites out there.
Yeah.
You had, and people want to know what this stuff is, learn about it. You should know about your culture. And then you also had straight gangbangers out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All on the same accord though.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo. So after hearing the minister speak, he was up there speaking and whatnot. When I got back on the train in New York, I just thought to myself, I'm not doing anything for my community. I'm proud of who I am. Don't get it twisted. I love me, boy. Let me tell you, every time I see myself.
He jumped back, he want to kiss himself.
Lord have mercy. Let me tell you. So, but I said, what am I doing though?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not doing nothing, And so when I got back, that's when I really got dissatisfied with the stories that were out there that had, black and brown characters in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was all they did was change the shade a little bit on the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
or they worried about the hair, is the or the cornrows, right? I'm just like, man, we're more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I want to start working on stories. So me and a couple of the folks started working on a story together. But then when COVID happened and we all had to go home, right? We're all separated. So now we're not working on the story together because we were all at Blue Sky.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll just start writing something myself. And I said, what can I start with? What kind of story? And I said, man, I'd like to talk about the OGs that I met in the pen. You know what I'm saying? That looked out for me. And that's where Double Smooth came from. I just said, I'm going to have a story about an OG talking with a youngster. And it's like, what are they doing while they talking? Oh, they playing dominoes. That's what we did. We was playing dominoes in there and chess and spades or whatever. And I said, yeah, it's just a conversation. That's it. And that's how it started. And then once my boy Brian read it, and he said the community needs this. When he said that, I was like, okay, this is not about, making some cool shit, because everything we make is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We make cool shit by accident.
Yeah.
So when he said the community needs this, I said, and I also went back to when he said, this ain't about you. You know what I'm saying? When you go up and speak somewhere, it's not about you. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's kind of like the universe was like, finally, you got it. It took a while. Damn.
Let me put this stick down. I don't have to beat him upside the head no more.
Yeah, so the universe took a break from whooping me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I finally listened, and I continued writing it, and it didn't get real. It didn't get real for me. Like I'm writing. It's still mine. I'm just writing it. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't get real until Omar San Cristobal showed me the ZBrush model of Juice, the first ever like 3D model, and he has his arms crossed, and he has his head leaning to the side. I was like, yo, and because Juice is fashioned. So one of my cousins, whose nickname is Juice, and then a convict, my lifer that I met inside, Juice is a mixture of those two. And he looked like the dude that I knew in the pen. I'm like, Omar, how did you do that? He looks like the guy that's in my head. Like, he was like, oh, I've been doing this for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. And I want to get in, because like I said, for me, the whole process is fascinating, because just getting, like I said, it's a different thing, when you got, a bankroll behind you and you can hire the people to do this and that. But it's a different thing when it's your project and you're trying to, get your friends involved or get people involved. That type of inspiring other people on your idea and your story. I want to dive into that. But first, I want to ask you, because did you write, when you were writing it out, were you writing it out as just a story, or were you writing out script-wise from the actual animated film? So when you sit down and write, are you writing in a script perspective? Because that's my thing. I have ideas, but I'm not a writer. So when I sit down, am I writing out just as a story, or am I writing out script, what the characters are saying?
So I got to give I got to give a huge shout out to this brother named Eric Phillip. Y'all need to go check his short out too. He's a writer director, but he's a writer director. That is his skill set. Yeah. My skill set was like sets modeling and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Eric Phillip was the one that helped me take the script that I had, because I didn't know anything about writing scripts. I didn't go to school for any of that stuff. I wasn't in any classes. I knew nothing about that. I was doing the best I could, just writing, right? And as far as writing the dialogue, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? That part's fine. But putting it into a format that hits, when somebody reads the script, they know. Like I'm hitting I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's, right? The format is there.
Yeah.
And it's punched up properly. Eric Phillip was the one that sat down with me for, we were on Zoom for like, I think 2 hours. He went line for line and basically just broke down why a script is written a certain way. You know what I mean? So he was the one that got it to like script format, polished and all that. But as far as writing, I just started writing. You know what I mean? I just kept writing and writing.
So what was the first line that you wrote as you were writing out?
Ooh, that's a hell of a question. Damn, what was the first line I wrote? I'm trying to think. It had to be something, but it had to be one of the conversations between Juice and Omari, like between those two. I want to say it was something that was, it might have been when Juice said, so in the story, Omari reluctantly walks over to Juice to talk to him because his OG from his hood told him, go talk to Juice. He wants to holler at you. And he walks over and Juice says, you out here like you got calendars, which is something we say in the pen. When you got calendars, I mean, you got a lot of time left. You know what I mean? You out here like you got calendars. And then Omari says, well, you out here like it's January. Because Juice has on this big ass jacket. But he doesn't know that Juice has on this jacket for a reason. There's a reason in the story that I won't spoil anything here, but there's a reason why he has on this big ass jacket. And so I had it written a different way than what I have now. I changed it a little bit, but I think that might have been because the banter back and forth between OGs and youngsters, I grew up with that, right? It was like growing up with OGs and you hear youngsters and OGs going, boy, you don't know nothing. What the hell are you talking about, old man? You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, you kind of, you know what I'm saying? Let me do what I'm doing. You feel me? So that was the easy part to do. So I think I started with something like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and again, for everybody that's just tuning in, we're having an amazing conversation with our family and brother here. It's the Dre Rodriguez, director now, and Sets Modeler.
I like to say directing.
I think director fits better with you.
Until I ship it, I got to get it over the finish line, Don.
Well, like I said, it's a massive effort, and again, like I said, I'm fascinated with the whole process of putting, when somebody, puts their own idea, Kickstarter together and getting people I know inspired on your idea and your story can be challenging sometimes. I guess, it's a little easier when you got friends through the industry. You've been in the industry a while.
Now, see, that was the weird part. The weird part was at the beginning when I first started developing it, a lot of people said yes to helping me out. And I was, so first off, I was ready for the no's because I figured since it's the first thing I've written, it was trash.
Yeah.
I figured people were going to be like, it's trash. You know what I mean? And I was ready to improve it. But because I had good people that, people that are way more talented than I am, giving me notes on how to make the script better, Eric Phillip being one of them. But I had one of the people you had on, Louis Gonzalez.
Yeah. Actually, he's on next week.
He's on next. Okay,
yeah.
Well, he actually hit me with the note. So he was the second person to read the script. The first person was my boy Matt Munn. Yeah. Matt Munn hit me with a crucial note, and it kind of brings things into focus, right? That's why it's a collaborative effort. Like trying to write something on your own, forget it. But when Louis hit me with the notes, because when I went and worked at Pixar, met him, just instantly became cool. Yeah. And he's now an executive producer on Double Smooth as well. But when we sat down and let him read it, he was like, "This is good." I said, "It is," because I'm just starting out. I'm thinking, I gotta get better. It's gonna be trash. Yeah. But he was like, "This is good." He said, "What you need to do is, and he gave me a list. He gave me a list of things to look at. That's about story structure, not necessarily changing the story itself, not the essence, but the structure of it. You know what I mean?" And one of the note he gave me allowed me to write the feature that I'm writing now. So his note made the short better, and then also taught me how to expand something, how to expand the story beyond the scope of what I was doing initially. Yeah. So his note was crazy. And then another brother named Deuel, who's a writer, he read it and gave me a note too that again brought part of the story just into focus. And then that's how I got to where it is today.
So how long how long is it playing out? 30 minutes? How long?
No. It's like right now it's at 12. It's at 12:28, I believe.
12. Okay. And that's where you're trying to keep it 12 minutes, 15 minutes or so. Or what?
Some things might get shaved. Some things might get shaved. It just depends. As long as it's so the story is already, it's pretty compact for 12 minutes. It doesn't feel like I played it at my friend Dio's house. I played it at his house. He does movie nights there.
Yeah.
And I played it on this Juneteenth. And it didn't it went by pretty quick for people. And everybody was stuck on the screen like, yo, people were talking back to the screen, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's already very condensed. So it's going to be tough to trim it, you know what I'm saying? Without cutting into the essence of what the story is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
But I'm definitely trying because I want to get it a little bit more compact.
And like I said, just jumping in, here's the character lineup. You know, Juice, Omari, Kool-Aid. Like I said, there's always good cool names in the hood. I tell you, CJ, Cuddy. We have colorful names. I tell you, we can get some colorful names. But for you, obviously, you know, they play different, you know, roles within, you know, Double Smooth. But you know, in the actual, how much of that in your actual experience, I guess, are you pulling from each of these characters, or where do they fit within the actual experience of that time?
All of it is pulled from people that I know. So Kool-Aid, we'll get him out the way. I knew him. He was in the pen. Lifer? Yeah. So he was good brother, man. He was the last brother. He was the last dude I saw when I was paroling. Wow. Yeah, and the conversation we had is in the short. Right. So I won't spoil it though, but yeah, the conversation when I was leaving, I ran into him. He was mopping the floor, and we had a conversation. I put that into the short where it's like now it's Omari and Kool-Aid having that conversation. Yeah. So they're all based on like people I know or experience that I've had, and they're kind of like it's kind of like an amalgamation, right? Each character is an amalgamation of different people's psyches and their personalities and whatnot. So Omari. The most influence comes from my brother OC. Yeah. My brother OC. That's why his name is Omari Campbell, OC. You know, and so my brother's like incredibly talented, but you know his life, he had a lot of demons and whatnot, and had a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders, and unfortunately it took him over. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he never got the opportunities he should have got. Talented, my brother, talented. Leader, charismatic, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Big C Dog is known, you know what I'm saying, in many areas, not just my small town of Marysville, but he went all up and down California, through Chicago and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so, but he never got the tutelage and the mentorship that he should have got to harness all of his abilities. You know what I mean? So in the short, there's Omari, right? It's kind of like he's getting that. You know what I mean? Because that's who Omari is. Omari is very perceptive, sees things, but he doesn't know what to do with it, right? It's kind of like having the puzzle pieces, but you don't know necessarily how to put it together. Yeah, and because I think growth is a marriage between your work and the work of the universe, right? There's you working hard, but then where is that work seen? Where is it felt? Where is it experienced by others, right? Well, when you have that OG come in and just say, "Man, give Don a chance, check him out," and like, oh, okay. And people tune in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a marriage. It's like like that term self-made. I don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get it either. Yeah.
Yeah. Every person I think is a village on the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You've learned something from somebody is giving you something.
Absolutely. And in that same respect, that's who all these people are. They're like mixtures of different folks. You know, like CJ is he's been hardened, you know what I'm saying, by life to the point that he's ready to get down at a moment's notice. You know what I mean? But he's just as talented as Omari, but he's so feral in the treatment that he got growing up. He doesn't know how to let that guard down. He just does not know how to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I that's based off somebody I know. Same with Cuddy. Cuddy is based off one of my homeboys too. Yeah. Yeah, so they're all based off of people that I know that I've had interactions with and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, do you think that was, I mean, kind of a hard, I want to say an easy thing to let go, or even if you have let it go, kind of the hardness that you feel you have to have? Like when you were saying your friend called you over to bunk, you know, he saw, you know, you were upset and you felt like you had to show that you were just, nothing's wrong with me. I'm hard, you know. Do you feel like, you know, that you've kind of let a little of that go, or I mean, what would you say is kind of when you're looking back on how you were then versus how you are now?
Oh, that has to do with just all the people in my life that give a damn about me. You know what I mean? That's what it came down to. And I mean, the first person that I can think of would be my mother, right? Because you know how you grow up, you ain't listening to your parents. But then when you come back, right? Yeah. and you think back about, oh, that's why she said this, that, and a third. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Second one would be like my father. All the lessons he taught me, just growing up, things he would say to me. You know what I'm saying? And now when I think back, I'm like, oh damn, I kind of act like my pops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now,
You pick up those
we
little...
didn't. Yeah, we didn't live together. That's what's crazy. We didn't live together, right? I would go visit him, summer, Christmases, all that kind of stuff. Stay, you know. And so he was in my life. He wasn't in my life 24/7, but still, there's things I do kind of like him.
Yeah.
So it really came from just having the right people around, and the people just took the time to love on me. You know what I'm saying, and care. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what really changes you. A person doesn't become, quote unquote, I don't like the term good and bad, but just to help people understand, I'll just use that. A person doesn't become just bad on their own.
Yeah.
You'll become good on your own. You know what I'm saying? You're a sum of your experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how people react to how you react to the experiences, right?
Yeah.
So like say you go to rob somewhere, you go to rob something, you get got, somebody says, I bet you robbed that place because you were struggling and you broke under pressure. You'd be like, that's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then somebody else might react to you and say, hey, you need to be locked up and never free again. Well, one of those is going to start a dialogue. The other one is going to shut the dialogue down.
Yeah.
Because if you're telling me I don't deserve to be free, I got words for you. I ain't gonna say them here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I got words for you. You know, because I deserve humanity just like the next man.
Yeah.
Just like all these characters do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, you got strong opinions about the prison reform, if there's such a word as prison reform, there, but there are a lot of things that need to be done or could be done better within the prison system. What are your, thoughts about what are some of the things that could be done that you kind of observed through your time there?
I think first off we gotta first look at what the prison industrial complex is, right? Prisons exploded, right? The prison growth, right? The building of prisons and all that happened after chattel slavery.
Yeah.
Right. And it's written into the 13th Amendment that you're free, right? Because that came from Emancipation Proclamation. Do you Googles for the people that don't know? And if you don't know, that's sad. If you Black and you don't know, that's real sad. So white folks, they claim that they don't know, yada yada yada. But anyway, it was when the 13th Amendment was written. It says you're free unless you're a convict, unless you're a prisoner. Then you're essentially a slave. So we know that the prison industrial complex was built to re-enslave formerly enslaved people.
Yeah.
That's what the prison system is. That's where it started. Okay, that's the root. Until we accept that is the root. It was not to correct behavior. It was not to make society safer. It was not. So we got to start there first. What was the root of this tree? Now we know the root of the tree. Now we can identify the fruit. And if the root is spoiled, what is the fruit?
Fruit's
spoiled as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to start there. So then from there, we can say, okay, what are the things we can do to actually make society safer? And we already know that. We know that poverty comes before crime, right? And we know resources and the promise of prosperity and opportunities given, that comes before a peaceful society.
Yep.
So then what it comes down to is, okay, what kind of society do you want? And are you willing to, are people here willing to do what's necessary to actually reach that? Because if you think punishment works, go back and just look at history. I don't think punishment is working really well. It's not, right?
No,
now,
not.
That's not to say that there aren't people in society. Like you got Charles Manson, you got Jeffrey Dahmer, right? You got the Iceman, right? There's people that are kind of way out and they need
incarceration or something.
Right. They're not productive in society. But then when I was in there, most of the people I met, when they told me about what they were in for, and then I asked the context of everything, bruh, these people ain't evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of them just, because my thing is the law has nothing to do with morality. Because remember, it used to be legal to own people here. It used to be legal to lynch people here in this country. It used to be legal to prevent people from voting, right? There was at one point it was you could not marry outside your own ethnicity.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
It was illegal. So
Illegal.
law, whatever. Morality wise, the people I met in there had strong moral character. They just didn't give a damn about the law. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give you an example. Let me give you a quick example. Brother was in there for life, killed a cop. Right? Okay, let's look at the context. In Oakland, came back from the war, so he fought for this country. Came back from the war, toe up, messed up mentally, right? Emotionally, all that. Well, did he get help for that? No. Now, there was a person selling dope on his block. He called the police multiple times and said, "Can you remove this guy from selling dope on my block?" Police never show up. So what does he do? He gets his piece, goes outside. Hey, get your ass in my basement. Right? Ties the dude up, for real, ties the dude up and says, when you decide to stop selling dope on my block, you can go. Right? Now that somebody saw this man come out and draw down on dude and bring him into his basement, they call the police. Now the police show up.
Wow.
The police surround his house. They surround his house. The loudspeaker, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He flips back. He has a flashback into the war. And they have a shootout, and he winds up killing a cop. Wow. So where did things go bad? Right? I identified it went bad when he came back from the war. Or first, we started a war, and then he went and fought in that war. When he got back, he didn't get the help he needed.
Yeah.
That's the root. That's the root of that situation right there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because he tried to do the right thing and call the police. They didn't even respond to the call.
Wow. Yeah, man.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. And I got more.
Mr. Deuel, nothing but respect to you. Obviously, to you there, Mr. Dre. Very inspiring story. I told him that. He's got an inspiring story. And like I said, hopefully this will inspire more. Do you communicate with the ones that you did connect with that are lifers? There's
actually one lifer that I communicate with him. I talk with him, and he's out now. Yeah. So, but when I got out, I had a few contacts. I had a few contacts in a book, and I lost that book from all the moving and stuff that was going on when I first got out. I had because there was a few that I wanted to keep in touch with. But it's hard when you parole. It's hard for parolees to talk to anybody in the Department of Corrections, because they'll say you're trying to. They'll immediately think you're trying to send in dope or send in right. You're not trying to actually do anything positive. Yeah. Again, it's the system, right? And it doesn't matter what I'm doing. They just know me as J97447.
The number. What's the number on your back? Like I said, we're gonna dive deeper into definitely Double Smooth and just everything behind it. First, let's take a quick look at a little reel here of Double Smooth.
Sit on down, brother. Let me rap to you for a minute. It's always clear from the outside. Man, it's different when you in it. When life goes tilt and hard times start raining down, chaos begins pushing and pulling and moving you around. But if you sturdy yourself and pick the right tools, change and rearrange, and keep your mind on staying true, gotta jot down a plan, pinpoint the goal, whether running in the streets or in the pen getting swole. The table doesn't change, but the players surely do. And all of this is just talking until you make a move. You got Big Six.
Looks cool. Like I said, I'm so amazed by it.
Yeah,
Like I said,
a lot of people. It took a lot of people to get to that point.
I'm sure.
A lot.
and
Yeah.
and it brings me to my point as far as just getting people on board. I mean, and along with your idea after you wrote, well, because putting a production together, obviously, there's a lot of moving pieces that go into putting even a short together. Writer, showrunner, producer, director, type of thing. What were the pieces that you felt that you needed to start putting together, to put this? Because, like you
Um,
said, your focus was one thing, your skill set's one thing, but again, there are other people.
yeah, when I first started, I had blinders on, right? So I was writing the story because I said I wanted to see, I want to see us in a different light, you know what I'm saying? Especially the OGs that are in there, the OGs that I know. And so I started writing the story, and so I had these blinders on, right? Just like make the thing, you know? And so it was really meeting people that taught me what I needed to know, as far as who I need to be around and who needs to be in the room, right, with me. And so I was lucky enough that my friend Keika, we go way back. Keika Lee, she has grayscale animation, and she's doing her own thing right now, writing and directing her own stuff, and she's dope. So she introduced me to her friend NB Chang, and NB, she's now the producer of the show. That's when things became in order. You know what I'm saying? When she got on the show, because I don't know anything about that stuff. I've been a PA, I've been a coordinator, I've done stuff like that. But as far as producing, it's a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so I was not knowing I was producing and directing at the same time, and I was dying. I was dying. And so I know I couldn't, keep that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was really NB was like it's kind of like the piano, right? The white keys and the black keys. You got
Yeah.
the ebony and ivory. Now you can play the full set, right? You
Yeah.
can play Mozart. It was that. So you can't do something of this level without the necessary people in the
Yeah.
room, and that would be and really it's not about like titles necessarily. It's really about folks coming in that are first off better than you. They make films better than you. They're more experienced than you. You know what I'm saying? Because then you can learn from them. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
Yeah.
So it was really about having talented people that knew more than me. And I'm just asking questions like, hey, this is my first time out doing this. What the hell am I doing? You know? and so I was lucky enough that I ran into folks that actually liked the story, right? They dig what it's about. They dig why I'm making it, right? Why
Yeah.
I decided to make it. And you grow from there. But definitely if get a producer first if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody that really knows how to keep everything in order. They know how to keep the train moving forward,
Yeah.
at a steady pace. Yeah, that's a man. Listen, if NB wasn't here, it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
It'd be a problem.
Yeah.
So
Somebody asked me that one time. They were putting, like I said, they were working on their own, animated short, and like I said, they didn't know the process. I said, well, I think the first person you need to get is a producer that's going to keep things organized
yeah.
and then,
And here's
on
the
point.
thing: for the people out there that know the process, you're
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can make something. You can make something on your own. The level of quality, though,
Yeah.
it's a rare thing. There one of my friends, Goro Fujita, he makes these little illustrations, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like 30 seconds. It'll be like a loop, an animation loop that he
Yeah.
makes in Quill, and it's like virtual reality, right? He's painting in virtual reality.
Yeah.
Dude is crazy talented. He's like one of one, and the amount he has to do that, and how hard he has to work, and what he had to do to get to that point. It's like, yeah, if you want to rock like that, go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? But I remember when he told me when he was in college, he put himself in the hospital because he was working so much. You know what I'm saying? He was working. He had to go to the hospital, and it's like, nah, you want many hands make for like work, right? You want to have a bunch of people with you. So and we're all on the same mission, and I don't know why, but folks liked the story enough to they came and worked on it and stayed. There were a few people I reached out to because they were like friends of mine and whatnot.
Yeah.
But other folks like Omar San Cristobal, when I asked him, I just saw his artwork and I liked it. His artwork was dope.
Yeah.
And then I just so happened, because I asked him to work on something else before, I just reached out to him online. And I'm like, hey, if I get rejected, so be it. And he was like, I got you. That's simple. I got you. And I was like, for real? And then when I showed him Double Smooth, he was like, oh, this looks cool. I got you. And for what he did, he was like, yeah, let me do a couple sketches. Blew my mind. So his just doing his thing to me was incredible. So I think it's just about put yourself out there, talk about what you're doing, and let people see you pushing the car first.
Yeah.
If people see you pushing the car first, somebody might show up and help you out.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, especially with you being receptive and open to what they create, to what they bring to the table as far as a creative. Like
100%, yeah.
There's some that they're myopic. You need to do it my way, and this and that. But to get something really good,
I like the collaborative effort. Yeah. I don't think what Double Smooth is now isn't what I started with. The essence is still there, right? But as far as like the camera cuts, shots, character placement, that kind of stuff, like the two board artists, Justin Polly and Jordan Dominguez, when they came in, I said, take the script breakdown, and if you see a place where you just want to go ham, go ham. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they did. They showed me how deficient I am with my writing right now. They showed me how young I am with my writing, because the stuff they thought of, I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? They was like, Dre, this shot is cool. I adjusted it a little bit like this, and whew.
Yeah.
Boy, when they say a little bit is a lot,
yeah,
man, they put that spice on it. You feel me? Yeah. So yeah, let people rock, man. Let people cook. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of companies mess up with their stories. They don't let people cook.
Yeah, that's true. And here are some of the storyboards and board art for the short. Did you have do you have an idea of stylistically, is this how it's going to look stylistically as an animation, or do you have in mind ideally stylistically how it's going to look?
Yeah, so when it comes to these color keys, these are for like lighting purposes.
Okay.
So it's not the style of the show is not in these, right? Okay. So the style of the show, I don't know if I sent you that paint over of Juice. It's just a simple paint over. I don't think so. Maybe I can get it to you. That's Omari stepping into the processing area. That's not it. It's just a painting of Juice. If you go to doublesmoothfilm.com, you'll see it. If you go to the Voices tab. By the way, the Double Smooth the website's up. But if you go to
stuff will be on the show notes, people, for sure. So
yeah, if you go to doublesmoothfilm.com and go to the Voices tab, you'll see the actual show style. There's a picture of Juice, and where I took that from was, I don't know if y'all seen Love, Death, and Robots, but the first season, there's a episode called Sonya's Edge.
Yeah.
So take Sonya's Edge. That kind of the characters don't look fully. It looks like sculpted characters that weren't finished.
Yeah.
So there's like hard plane changes and soft plane changes.
I got you.
So shape language, that's where we're going with that. But as far as the color, if you look at Sonya's Edge, you'll see there's a swatchiness. So in like say a wall, you'll see different swatches of color. So Sonya's Edge is really where I got the inspiration from. But then my friend Brian Lachelle came on, and when he painted over the Juice model that I got from Omar. He painted over that model, and what he like 30 minutes. He did 30 minutes and sent it to me. I said, I want that right there. Stop.
It
was dope. And the crazy, he did it in 30 minutes.
Wow.
30 minutes. That's what I mean. Like, you like working with people that are way more talented than you is how the vision can be realized. You know what I'm saying? Because I never would have thought of doing that. I knew what I had in my head, right? I wanted like a swatches. I want all these colors to be in like, so when you squint your eyes, you see Juice as just like a dark skinned brother. But then when you zoom in, you can see all these colors. And he did that in 30 minutes.
Well,
30 minutes, yeah.
Well, I mean, for you, because again, I guess getting the ball rolling on a project, you know, you're kind of relying on, you know, friends to help you or this and that until you get to that point where, like you said, you got a Kickstarter base or you have a base where you can pay people. Did you find it, or were you surprised or not surprised at the people that did jump on board and really, you know, loved?
I was surprised every time somebody said yes. I was surprised that anybody that said yes to this, because I know how busy people are, right? People are working, paying their bills, taking care of family, you know what I'm saying? Trying to have a life outside of their work, right? Yeah. So anytime somebody said yes to this, I was like, really? What's the catch? You know what I'm saying? But usually people are like, oh, the story's cool, man. And what really like got the ball rolling like crazy is that ZBrush model that Omar did of Juice, the first model of Juice. When people saw him, they were like, yo, who is this cat? You know what I mean? And so really it was like the writing was there. And then I always say we get these hits of like nitrous, right? We get these hits of nitrous in the gas tank. Omar was part of that, right? And then when NB jumped on as the producer, that was part of it. The notes that I got from like experienced writers, right?
Yeah.
Like those are like little hits of like nitrous, you know what I'm saying? But what's going to happen is if you want to make something outside of, you know, the zeitgeist, outside of the studio model,
yeah,
it's going to be you pushing a boulder uphill.
Yeah.
That's what, period. It's going to be that, you know what I'm saying?
So did you have those moments, or have you had those moments through this process where it's been a boulder and just pushing and you're feeling it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot. But my thing is, I have a saying, if you fall in love with the fight, you can't lose. So that's what I'm in love with. I'm in love with the fight. I'm in love with showing up for like all the people that showed up for me. I'm showing up for them. And that's what it's about for me. Right. Yeah. Like I always say, the film is going to get finished. Right. Eventually it'll get finished. Right. Even if like folks were to leave, and then we had to slow down or whatever. Right. Our goal is to get the thing finished. But the most important thing to me is, how did people feel while they were working on it? And if they don't feel 110%, that's my fault.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm in love with, that side of it, like making sure they're okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I try to have folks come to the house. I like cooking for some of the folks that from the Double Smooth team came to the house. I cook for them. Matter of fact, we're gonna have a get together tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What part of California are you in, Andre?
I'm in the Bay, in a small town right outside of Oakland called El Sobrante.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think if you're working on a film for stuff like you want to win an Oscar, or you just want to be the head motherfucker in charge, things like, if you're doing it for that, you're gonna lose drive. Yeah. I love making. I remember, so one of my mentors, Cleveland Hibbert, he told me, I like making movies with my friends. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's what and he's actually the set supervisor on Double Smooth.
Yeah. I think said that too. What's the actor's name who played Happy Gilmore?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. That's what he said. I don't make movies with my friends. That's why they're all in all of my movies.
Yeah.
Most of the movies that he makes.
That's what it comes down to. It's like, this is what we do. We're artists. We interface with the world through media, right? Through visual storytelling. And if you keep it there, I don't think you'll lose the drive. But I think if you're looking for outside validation or these accolades that come from outside forces, that come from some external force, it's not going to work for you. Like me working with Cleveland again, he was my lead on Spies in the Skies. Like working with him again is everything to me, right? Like getting to know NB and working with her, you know what I'm saying? Is that, to me, that is the win. Everything else is just little extra stuff that might come around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do it for the right reasons, you won't lose steam.
For sure. I mean, as a let me throw this up in here. To block out your animation, did you use a good reference video? And for the hands on the dominoes, did you wing it? Excellent work.
Okay, so to answer that question, I'm gonna have to have Jornson Dominguez come on here to Color of Motion, because he was the one that did that animation. That wasn't so as a director, we talked. So that was the animation test, right? So we were testing out the rig. So I was saying, I said, hey, you got the rig, start playing around with it, and we went back and forth. He would show me a shot, like the shot where Juice reaches his hand out to grab the domino box.
Yeah.
That was the very first animation shot of Double Smooth.
No.
Was that. And I said, yo, that's dope. And he said, yeah, I put it's stepped animation. I put it on 3s. What do you think? And I was like, I like that. And then it was a back and forth. Hey, can we do this? Hey, can we do this? And then when I wrote out the script that's part of that animation test, that script is not part of the film. I just wrote that for the test. And we started coming up with this idea of Juice's sitting down to play dominoes with somebody new, you know, and he's getting the board ready, as he's getting the dominoes ready, he's giving them a little kind of soliloquy about how dominoes is like alive, right? Yeah. And so as I wrote that out and I gave that to him, right, and he just started. I said, you know, the part where he says in the pin getting swole, I don't want to show his face. I just want to show his size. Yeah. Right. And then the part where he says, rather running in the streets, I wrote that from when Jornson, the scene where the camera is dollying out and Juice is turning over the dominoes. It looks like you running down the street. So I wrote that line, whether running in the streets or in the pen getting swole. I wrote that line, then I wrote in the pen getting swole, and then that line inspired the other shot. So it was a back and forth collaboration. But as far as the animation, that's all Jornson. He did that. Yeah. I said this is what I need to see in the shots. It was his talent that brought it. You know what I'm saying?
And to that point, how do you think you've gotten better at just directing and managing just your own project through this whole process? I mean, what do you think you've learned about yourself?
I learned that so far what I learned, I'm not a good director yet. I'm like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm still getting there, but I think the one thing that's been reinforced is how much I love the collaborative process, because to me that's what it was always about for me. I just love working with folks and making stuff together. So that was reinforced. But so I learned that I'm definitely not a good director yet. I got to get there. And I learned that really it's about communication and making sure you put the folks first, right? Put the team first. And I've been learning that from, like, say, so to give you an example, Cleveland, who was the lead on Spies in the Skies, he's a leader. Like he'll make you feel like you can take over the world. You know what I'm saying? He's good. He's good at what he does. And so I'm trying to get to that point, and I take instruction from him still. You know what I'm saying? Just watching how he'll write an email or how he'll talk to folks about being the set supervisor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or the steps he'll take before he gets to the plate to knock it out the park, like the preparation. Yeah. So I'm still learning about all that stuff. So I'd say I'm learning that I need to learn. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And the cool thing is you have mentors that are helping you learn these things. That's the priceless thing. A lot of people don't, have those ones that will, help them along the way.
And I think I would say to that, for the folks out there, if you got people around you that aren't helping you grow, they probably ain't your people. Yeah. That's just real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not saying they ain't cool to be around. Yeah. But I'm saying if people are supposed to be helping you grow, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm lucky to have that.
Again, everybody that's tuning in, we've been having an amazing conversation, like I said, with one of our own, Mr. Andre Rodriguez, talking about his film, Double Smooth. What are some of the others? Once you get through this, get, this story, done. What are some of the other stories that you've got inside of you that you're hoping to kind of tell and would like to try and
Well,
dabble in?
I'm not just writing my own, but I'm also helping out on other stuff. Like I said, Eric Phillips, he's writing and directing his film, The Other Side. I'm helping out on that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to help other folks with their stories. But the next thing I want to do after Double Smooth is the feature based on how Juice got to where he is. Like why is he this stoic individual that knows so much? You know what I mean? And so I want to I'm writing a feature right now with him, and that feature is gonna star. So it's gonna be based before Omari. So in the film, Omari's a baby. You know what I'm saying? So he's not even an adult. And we're gonna see what Juice went through. You know what I'm saying? How he was railroaded by the system, and how the system almost crushed him, and how he had mentors, right? And he was able to wade through the waters and come out on the other side to be the man that you see in Double Smooth.
No.
Yeah.
So what are you hoping people are kind of walk away when they see this, when they see Double Smooth? What do you?
I just want folks to I just want folks to come out wanting to have conversations about it. You know what I mean? Because I can't control how. I always say some people will see the bars, some people will see the person. So for the people that see the bars, I ain't got bars for you. You know what I'm saying? If that's all you see. But if you see the people, you know what I'm saying, and you see and you get the deeper message that's involved. Because I think, don't get me wrong, I like my just straight up entertainment too.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I write, definitely I want to be having a dialogue with the people that watch what we're making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just want people to, when they come out, say, why did such and such do such and such? Why is it like that? Or is it really like that in the pen? That's what I want. I want people to start having conversations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we talked a little bit about this before, the show, this time that we're in now, and some of the stuff that's coming out now. I mean, and there's a lot of space in between, when you were on the first time. What do you think about this time creatively, industry wise, that we're in now? You're in the industry, you know how it is for a lot of creatives, what they're going through, what they're dealing with, and where we're at now.
I think for us, I guess it depends on how you look at life too. You know what I'm saying? And how you look at where we're at in this industry, right? First off, it's not ours, right? There's no animation industry. Like there's Tyler Perry Studios is the only like black owned, straight up black owned studio that does like live action. Huh?
Harpo's not black owned. Oprah. Harpo.
No, it is, but that's a subsidiary of another company. Like Tyler Perry Studios is just Tyler Perry Studios. You know what I'm saying? And so in animation, we don't have something like that. But I think in this time right now, we could, because I think with the information age, people are now realizing they have the choice on what to watch. So now people are deciding to watch different things. You see people watching different stuff now, right? And it's not like they changed their taste. It's just that now that the show's caught up to their taste. You know what I mean? And so for me, like Love, Death and Robots, Arcane, right? The more what people will call adult animation, I just call it good animation.
Good animation. It's just good.
Yeah, there's just quality and there's not. But there's different stuff out here that we can enjoy. So now, and with the cost of entry being so low, back in the day, an SGI machine costs like $50,000, I think, something like that, to make 3D films. Now computers, you can get a computer for like a stack. One stack.
What did they say? I guess you'd have to know it, but they said I can't remember his name. The guy that did Flow did his pretty much on a laptop. So
yeah, exactly. And so now I think for us, this is our opportunity to work together and be able to make new stuff. And again, we make cool shit. That's what we do. We've saved countless networks from going bankrupt over the years with our ideas. You know what I'm saying? And then we didn't know none of it. So this is a time for us to be, if we were to work together, and if we were to put aside connecting opportunity with money for a second and say, okay, sweat equity to build something. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can definitely build. We can build an economy that could work for us and that we own. And I
Definitely.
think Ryan, I
Definitely.
think Ryan Coogler is showing us that too
Oh
right now.
man, yeah, yeah. Which,
Right now.
like I said, which I'm kind of glad he's come on because I know he's done a little some stuff with Ryan Lewis,
Yeah, yeah. Louis,
Gonzalez. He's
yeah,
done, and I think he said he did a little something on Sinners. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to getting them back on the show, for sure. But that's what excites me now is now you're getting these, like I said, creatives that are really changing the game and just how they get their idea out there and kind of showing kind of where the power really is held within the creators.
Well, the power is with us always, right?
Yeah,
We if we don't watch the films, they don't do well.
you know,
So
yeah,
that's where the power lies. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But I think we have to look at, so in this time we can definitely make something new. But if we try to mimic what the big studios do, that's their game, right?
yeah,
To do it that way, you need a lot of money. You need a lot of
yeah.
capital to start off with. But you don't need a lot of capital to sit your ass down and write something.
No, no.
You know?
Or like I said, if you're a videographer, and I guess that's kind of goes into the question of asking you now this time. Like you said, you have these avenues: Kickstarter if you want to fund your idea. You got YouTube if you really want to make a web series and get it out there. This time, like you were saying, the lowers the kind of the barrier, the entry into getting whatever it is your story is or idea out there. Um,
Absolutely.
Now,
And you have to start, right? And you're not gonna start at step 10, you know? So I've talked with people that said, man, it'd be cool to start a studio. I'm like, no, don't think that way. Just write your story.
yeah,
Now that you wrote your story, go find an artist to visualize your story, right? Do the small steps first, because it's those small steps that are going to be the foundation of making like a company, if you want to make something like that in the future, right? Like
yeah,
Pixar started with a few friends,
yeah. Free friends,
drawing on napkins and stuff and talking about the stories, right now, little. That's how it started,
yeah,
right? We have to do the same. Now, mind you, it's harder for us, you know what I'm saying? Because we all understand we have there's the invisible barriers that are the black tax, as we call it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Well, we just gotta work that much harder.
yeah, yeah. But again,
Have you
like I
seen?
said, you have these. No, go ahead.
I want to say there's not. I don't know if people seen Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but there's a moment in that movie where the humans, they're talking with Caesar and his people about repairing the dam, and one of the dudes said, "You know what makes them more powerful than us? They don't need lights, they don't need running water, they
Yeah,
don't need plumbing, they don't need anything, right?" So if we take that same kind of idea and say, okay, what can we do without money? How can we replace money with sweat equity?
yeah,
Right now it's an even playing field. Mind you, you
yeah,
can't just keep doing that. I get that, but if you could start there,
yeah,
which is why I like working on the other side with Eric. I want him to get there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm like, we'll talk about the rest of the stuff later.
yeah,
Let's get you there. Let's get
yeah.
that damn short out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's working together to see your vision or a vision out there, and putting it in.
Work.
Again, uh, getting people on board is always kind of the challenging thing, for sure.
Well, you're gonna find people that are ready for the smoke. Then you're also gonna find people that just want to, they just want to work and get paid, which is cool. If you want to work and get paid, cool.
Yeah.
Once this thing pops off, don't come back and talk to me.
What do you say? My equity. Where's my equity share?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't want to struggle with the rest of us. The rest of us is over here struggling to make this thing happen. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
if you're not of that ilk, well,
Yeah. Well, do you find a lot of the younger ones or the newer artists that are coming out that's what they want? They just want to get paid for their work, and or are you finding those ones that they want to work on creative? They're willing to work on creative things and just take a chance on stuff as well.
So if a person is financially, well off, of course they have the privilege of just saying, hey, I want to work on this because it's cool and I like it. You know what I'm saying? But I have found that the savagery of wanting to make something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's in young and old. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just about like working on, when I started working on the other side, it's a dope ass project. And Eric is a good brother.
Yeah.
I want to help him succeed. That's the end of the discussion. That's it.
Yeah.
For me. Now, other people, it might be a little bit more complicated, right? What am I going to get out of this? Is this going to be looking good for my portfolio? I just want to work with E. You know what I'm saying? I want to work with E and I want to learn from him. That's it. That's more than enough. And for other people, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You just got to find the right people. You got to find your tribe. That's all.
Sure. Oh, mama. Like I said, I've been trying to kind of keep these tights. We're coming into an hour and a half here, for sure. And definitely, this has been, like I said, a blast for me. And would like to maybe talk about coming back for the 200th episode. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to plan for our 200th episode. It'd be great to have some of the past.
Have you had an ensemble cast on here yet?
2 has really been the most guests that I've had. I've been wanting to do. I'm kind of, like I said, hesitant about doing a large number because the bandwidth of just recording everybody's video is a lot, or recording live stream is a lot. But
what if
you had a panel?
What if you were connected to one camera and on that camera was just a bunch of folks?
I could probably do it through Zoom, because I can connect Zoom. So maybe setting up a panel like through Zoom.
Yeah, but we had like a couch. We had like a couch with a bunch of folks there, and you got your one camera.
That'd be good too. But I'd have to have a place though.
Because I got an idea.
Okay,
we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Sure. Yeah.
But like I said, this has been the best episode for sure in a while, and definitely have enjoyed Andre coming back. And I always say, Dre, anything you're working on or project you're working on where I can help, whatever I'm doing can do. You're always, welcome to come back on. That's why we brought you back on to really promote Double Smooth. Again, all this information will be on the show notes. Go check it out, support it, because it is a powerful story that I felt should have been made a long time ago. So I'm excited to see how this really kind of plays out. What are some of the stuff that you've been seeing lately that you've kind of liked or really kind of, that's kind of hit you or really stuck out to you as far as, some of the recent stuff that's come out?
I think for me, the latest season of Love, Death and Robots was good. The second season of Arcane. This came out a while back, but Intergalactic was dope.
Yeah, Intergalactic. Yeah,
Intergalactic was dope. Yeah, so for me, it's a lot of stuff that people would consider adult animation. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess I'm more in that area. Mm. But other stuff that I saw that hit was like The Wild Robot. That hit.
Were you surprised about the Flow winning?
No, that was I'm not really silent films. I could take them or leave them. You know what I'm saying? But as far as
I think that says a lot. A movie that doesn't have any dialogue that wins, I think says a lot about the filmmaking.
Well, I don't put much stock in the award shows anyway, though.
True.
Yeah, I don't. Other people might. I don't, because it'd be different if it was like if Flow won the Annie Awards, because that's animation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know that the Oscars still don't take animation seriously. You know what I'm saying? They still look at it as a genre and not a medium, right? So once I start seeing like horror animation, right, or like mine is a drama thriller, right? Once we start seeing that put up against live action, you know what I mean? Now it's just a medium. It's not a genre.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, okay, cool. But yeah, I don't put much stock into the award stuff. But no, Flow was dope, and I think Flow was another sign that people are understanding, like, hey, we can just get together and just do this stuff ourselves and there's different ways of doing it now. There's different techniques, different skill sets, and how can we budget it in a different way, right? To where it's more cost effective. That's always been here.
Yeah.
It just took the right people to kind of meet up and talk, right, and actually start to formulate those plans. Yeah. You know, that's why I'm so glad that I see all these cool shorts coming out from like different. There's another crop of directors and producers that are coming real soon that are going to kind of help pave the way, just like what Flo did.
Yeah.
There's going to be other stuff like Double Smooth being a drama thriller. You know what I mean? People looking at it and be like, this is kind of, you know, I don't want to give away all the stuff that's in it, but it's what happens in prison from like what you would hear on the news.
Yeah.
But then like actual experience of somebody that's been in there and actually talk to folks was living in that space for a while. We don't see that in animation, which is weird that we don't. No. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're already going that way. So for me, Flow definitely hit me from that standpoint, like, yo, this is new and it's fresh. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Which was why, like I said, I felt like it was only between Flow and Wild Robot, because I was like, they're different. They're different than the Pixar stuff that's always nominated. They're different than Disney stuff. I think
Wild Robot to me was like, it was one of those stories that it's because usually when a story starts at a studio, it's banging. The story is no joke. And then over time, it gets watered down, and it just becomes this muck, right?
Yeah.
It just becomes a series of weird jokes and slapstick comedy. And I think the Wild Robot just kind of snuck through without getting hit from that gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? It snuck through, so the story still had heart to it. But it definitely felt like the usual big budget film. It still felt that way. Flow didn't.
Yeah, which was why I thought Flow would win. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think exactly. That's why probably Flow won. It's like, oh, it feels different, but I want different, but I still want fly, which is what we do. We do fly, and we're different because a lot of people haven't experienced us in the animation space from us, right? Yeah. It's always being piped through a company, and who's at the top of that company? Who says what is acceptable and what's not, right? It ain't us.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited to see what's coming.
Yeah, I am too, and excited about a lot of the stuff that's coming out from a lot of the creators that are, like I said, taking their own stories into their own hands and creating some amazing stuff.
Yes, that's why I say right now it's an exciting time. It's a disruptive time right now. Things are really disrupted. But I think that's a Tuesday for Black folks. You know what I'm saying? Other folks maybe not, but for Black folks it's just a Tuesday. It's like, hey, on top of being in danger of getting smoked by a cop because I have a broken taillight, now I got to think about getting laid off of work.
Another thing that we have to deal with.
Right? It's just animate them all black. Animate them all black. So for me, it's just a Tuesday. We've been dancing in between the raindrops all our lives.
Oh man.
And it's just another aspect of it. You know what I mean? And and for the people that are working, we're blessed.
Yeah.
For the people that aren't working, we have to. You're still an artist. You don't have to work at a company to be an artist. You were born an artist. That's it. Nobody can take that from you. No. Now it's about trying to find different ways of getting your art out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Monetizing your idea, your talent. I mean, the tools are out there for you to do it. It's going to require work on your part, but you can set your own ceiling.
And we have to work together. We have to work together. We're not going to get there. Like I said, Double Smooth where it's at now. Yeah. A lot of people have worked. A lot of people are working on it, and a lot of people have worked on it.
Yeah.
Huge team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so if I can help other cats do that, holla at me. Maybe I got some advice or something. Matter of fact, one of the folks working on Double Smooth, his name's Brian. I'm now helping him on his short because he showed me some stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you need some models. I can do that. I model. That's what I've been doing my whole career. Let me take that off your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, Dre, you're busy. I said, yeah, we're both busy. What are you talking about? Just give me the work.
Well, I mean, and to that point, do you find like people are kind of hesitant to ask, because that would be my thing. Asking when you know
No,
somebody's busy, but you know.
that's understandable. It's understandable that people are hesitant to ask. That's why I offered. That's why I said, it's like, to me, it's crazy. You're over here working on Double Smooth right now, and you won't ask for help. I model. That's what I've been doing my whole career.
Yeah.
Give me the damn model. give me the artwork and let me do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and see that I've had to learn that a closed mouth does not get fed. I've had to learn that. So you need to ask. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, like you said, the worst you can do is say, no, I don't have time to work on it, but you won't know unless you ask the person.
Yeah. And what he can do in the modeling area, what would take him weeks will take me days.
Yeah.
So how about you keep doing the Double Smooth stuff, right? Because he's doing lighting. His name is Brian Dean. Fucking amazing lighter. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Brian, we're gonna have to have you on. I'm gonna have to connect, Brian.
Yeah, definitely. So he's doing the lighting. I'm like, let me do. Why struggle with the modeling? Just give me the models. I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that was the one thing. And I'll tell a few people this. One of the, I guess, cherries on top for me doing this show, The Color of Motion, is I've got a chance to make friendships and relationships with people that have skill sets that I don't have. I have ideas myself, but I'm not a writer. I'm not a colorist or anything like that. But I made relationships with people that when I'm ready and have an idea, I can sit down and ask them, well, what do you think of this? How can I make this better? Or even possibly, like you said, offer to help you with your idea.
Sounds like we got to talk.
We do, man.
So I can help you out. Yeah, because I mean, all it takes is for us to just come together and realize that, it's never one person doing anything. You know what I'm saying? There was an anthropologist. I forgot her name, but there was this anthropologist that was teaching at a university, and a student asked her, when do you think we reached civilization? Right? Like when did we become civilized? And her answer was when they found a bone, a femur, old femur, thousands of years old, and it had been fused together. Right? And she said, that shows me that whatever group she was in, when that person broke their leg, the group took care of that person. Right? They fed that person. They protected that person. Yeah. She said that's the start of civilization right there. Because when you think about animals, when like say you have a herd of zebra, when the leg is broken, the lion is taking dinner time. You know what I'm saying? But she said that seeing that fused femur means that her group took care of her.
Yeah.
That's what we got to start doing. It should be a natural thing, right? Yeah. It's like, you need help. Let me see what I can do. Is there anything I can do to help you? And then same thing. You hear me? Oh man, I'm struggling with this. Oh, Dre, I got that. I think I got that for you. Yeah. Why can't we do that now? Why do we gotta? It's a weird thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Some people may say, as good as technology is, it kind of disconnects us from this in-person kind of talking with each other and really having relationship with each other.
It can, but I think it goes back to what I was saying. What are you doing this for? I do it because this is what I was born an artist. Yeah. So this is what I am. I want to use this to connect with people. That's what I'm doing it for. Yeah. Now, what we make might come out cool as hell. It might come out kind of cool. It might be the next who knows? Yeah. But that's why I'm here. I'm doing it to connect with people. If that's your goal, then all you got to do is pick up the phone. You connected with a person. All you got to do is write an email. You connected with a person. Go outside and say what's happening. Just keep it going. Keep the connection going.
True. And hey, like I said, you know how I like to do it on stuff like that.
You got explosives here now too?
Hey, when my guests drop bombs and nuggets, I have to do it. I have to do it. And Andre he dropped a bunch of bombs in this. So definitely, if you're just coming in on the tail end of this, please make sure that you check out the episode. Because like I said, Andre dropped a lot of great information, talked a lot of great stuff about his journey, his passion behind Double Smooth, and like I said, I want us to get behind this because again, like Andre was saying, we need to support one another. And this is kind of my small way of supporting what Andre is doing and getting it out there, because I do feel like it's a story that needs to be told, really. And like I said, I told him this a long time ago when I first had him on. But I'm glad this is coming to fruition. Like I said, Andre, you like I told you the first time, you're a Color of Motion fam now. You're always welcome on the show. Just, hey, you just said stop by. Like I said, hey, Don, you know, I'm stopping by the studio.
I'm definitely when we hit another milestone on Double Smooth, I'll definitely hit you up so I can come on here and talk about it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get you know going when it's completed and ready to go for sure to get it out. Like I said, I definitely want to talk about maybe doing something for the 200th episode because again, and I do like to say this because it really is important to me. You know, Joshua, Andre, really the first 5-10 guests that I had on the show really set the tone and gave me the confidence to even continue moving forward. So I'm always partial to, like I said, my early guests.
You said Joshua. You talking about Joshua Leonard?
Joshua Leonard. Yeah, Joshua was my very first guest.
That's a bad man right there.
Yeah, man. Joshua was my very first guest, and I sing Joshua's praises all the time. And he's been on a couple of times, but I always love having Joshua back, and definitely got to have him back on for sure. But that's for me. Like I said, the cherry for me for doing the show is I've gotten to make friends with, you know, my brother Andre and brothers like Joshua and other great creatives as well. I call them friends now. I hope they call me friends.
Yeah, we people, man. Come on now.
Brothers,
we're rocking together.
Yeah, we're rocking this together. And like I said, I can't thank, you know, them enough for making the Color of Motion the show that it is. And like I said, you guys and gals, because Liza Barros was my first woman on the show and first Latina on the show. So really set the tone for how the show went moving forward. So I can't always thank you enough for coming on, Andre. And, you know, it's a learning experience for me. And definitely this is a learning experience, just what you're going through right now, you know, in the process of putting Double Smooth together. Definitely helps enlighten me on what I need to keep in mind when I start to put things together myself. So, you know,
hey man, fair exchange is no robbery. You know what I'm saying? I learned from here too. I mean, I just learned that you got explosives on your show now. It's like, well, he's got military grade ordnance. It's like what?
I can tell, and I'm going to do this before we. I want to show the little clip from our first. I did put a clip from our first interview, and you can see how janky my setup is. You'll see how janky my setup is, but like I said, he was my very second interview, and like I said, I couldn't thank him enough.
And I was like, "What is CG?" And he said, "Computer graphics." It's like, what the hell is that? What is this stuff? You know, he says, "This is the stuff that's in movies that you see," and I'm like, "Nah, not in prison." You know what I'm saying?
So they weren't using the CG as related to architecture, or they were just using it for films, or
they were using it. They were doing everything. It was personal projects they were working on, but it was everything. They were like building houses in 3D. Some people were building like characters. Some people were building little vehicles or whatever, just whatever they felt like building. Right. So they had.
Or were they using AutoCAD? Or?
They had AutoCAD. They had Softimage, and they had 3D Studio Max. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah, you can see how janky my setup was.
That's wild. That's wild. But I look crazy younger right there because I got this gray in my beard and shit now. What's going on, man?
Oh man, I kind of cringe. I cringe when I look at those early ones. But hey, like I said,
the information was there though. The information was there.
Yes, it was, and that's what it's all about. Like I said, for me, I didn't, you know. It's all about the value. I'll get better along the way, and I learn. For me, obviously, growing is the thing, and I've grown a great deal since the first year. But I
No,
can't
you have.
thank.
No, you definitely the blow up situation is real. The blow up situation is real, as evidenced by the military ordnance explosions you got here now.
Well, like I said, I try and up the production quality and the production value. I try and ratchet it up every year. So this year, like I said, I'm really working to make it the best show. And I cannot do that without, great guests and friends like you and great viewers such as yourself for tuning in and really making this a fun 5 years so far. So, man, thank you,
And
thank you, thank you.
glad to be back. Before I go, I want to plug to everybody. Please go visit the doublesmoothfilm.com.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
go visit that. And what we talked about as far as us working together and building our own infrastructures and whatnot. If you go onto the website, you'll see there's a page. There's a donate page, and you can donate directly to the film, and that money goes directly to getting this thing finished.
Yeah.
So.
Make sure you connect with Andre. Again, that will be on the show notes. The Double Smooth film website will be on the show notes. Kickstarter, all those links will be on the show notes. Thing is, we want to support this because that's what helps, like I said, creatives really have the ability to tell these stories and helps future creators when we do support these Kickstarters and things that creators are doing. So all of this information will be on the show notes. Make sure you hop over there, connect, follow him, follow the progress of what Double Smooth is doing, because it is going to be a really, really great animated short. And I'm super, super looking forward to it and super looking forward to really promoting it even more once it's completed.
Man, I appreciate you, Don. Thank you for having me on, man.
Awesome. If you could, for a second, hang out in the green room while I close out the show, Andre, I'd appreciate it. But again, everybody, please help me thank again our favorite brother, Andre Rodriguez, for tuning in. Hang out for a second, Andre, while I close out the show. Man, this has been a fun episode. This has been one that I've been, like I said, been looking forward to for a while. And like I said, I know Andre's a busy man, and I know he'd come on anytime I would ask him to, for sure. But it's always glad and fun when they come back on and really share. Like I said, I'm glad he's working on this project. I'm super excited about really pushing it and promoting it for him. It's going to be a powerful piece for sure, and definitely something that's going to benefit a lot of people. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed this episode. Like I said, this year 5, this quarter 3 is rolling, man, and we're having a blast. And actually, we're having a lot of former family come back on the show because they've been working on a lot of great projects. This week, like I said, Andre's gracious for coming back on the show. Next week is no exception. I'm super excited about next week.
Sit on down, brother. Let me rap to you for a minute. It's always clear from the outside. Man, it's different when you in it. But life goes too.
Okay, we're going to do this the right way here. Next week's guest, Mr. Louis Gonzalez, director, super talented story artist, and family members coming back on. He's been working on some cool projects. Hint, Ryan Coogler. He's worked on some of his stuff, so looking forward to having him come back on and really share some of the stuff that he's been working on for sure. So it's going to be a great episode. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. What else? Man, I appreciate all you guys and gals hanging with me. Make sure, like I said, that you join us next week because it's going to be a blast. Have a great rest of the weekend. Have a productive week. And I will see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Cheers, everybody.